GM Timi. Hey there.
Yeah, I'm here. GM, guys.
GM, that's him, fine boy. That's why I off my
Beg
camera
you.
so that because I was feeling bad that God. So I got create human
Nah,
being. I
lie.
told it.
It's a
I
lie.
just now why now why I off my camera, guys. So no pressure, no pressure. GM Timi,
no,
what's
no
up? How you doing,
pressure on
man?
the nerves. I'm fine. I'm good. How are you? GM,
I'm
guys.
good. Nice to have you on the call. So we'll do something,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
do
nice to be
vibes
back.
check. Yep. Nice,
Yeah, as
nice.
usual.
Let's do a vibes check as usual. Yeah. So let's start. GM Super Designers,
GM Super Designers.
guys.
Let's
What
go.
were you rating? Did you try? Let's do it again. Are you ready?
GM Super Designers.
Okay. You're fully charged.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Glad to have you here.
100. Thank
100,
you.
100.
Thank you.
Raise them. All right, glad to have you here. Okay, guys. Zico said missed the last class. You can watch the last. You can watch the recording. Also, I think Timlane uploaded it on YouTube as well, so you can as well watch
Yeah.
that as well. Victor, first time here. Welcome. You go still do the assignments. You go collect. Everybody go collect. That's like first time here. Everybody go do it. Jeremiah midday. So, guys, like I said, if you've not posted this live stream, please do that now. Repost, press the retweet button. Let's repost. Let's tag your friend, your family member, that person who's a designer that needs to make his design better. Tag the person that they've started though. No miss am. Come on board. So,
Let's do
guys, today's
this.
class is going to be much more practical, and then let's just get into it. So, over to you, Timne.
Okay, so GM guys, and welcome to day 2 of our intro to Rive and bringing our designs to life. So last week we broke ice with Rive and we explain we know what Rive is all about, and we know how it matters to us, why it matters to us as a designer, and we were able to learn one or two. We were able to rig our mascot and get it ready for animation for today. So we are going to jump on it. So we are going to make our mascot lively today. We are going to give it a live today because that guy has been standing like security guard since last week. So let's just jump into it. I'm going to share my screen. Let's share the whole screen. Okay. So can you guys see my screen now? And
Yes,
just can you see
yes.
my screen? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I have a little slide there. Yeah. So um today we are going to be exploring the basics animation basics in Rive, and I have a little sorry guys. I have a little animation principles that we are going to be exploring as we are going to be animating our mascot. So we are going to be implementing these principles in our animations. So we are going to start with easing, and we are going to take it from there to solid drawing. So um, sorry. So what is easing actually? What is easing? Easing is an animation, or it refers to an acceleration deceleration movement in animation that makes our animation different from moving in a constant level. So we are going to practicalize it in our mascot. So before that, last week I I did not finish the preparation, so we are going to finish it. I'm supposed to I'm supposed to take the top leg control inside our body control because we are going to be moving our body control. So I want it to move. I want this top leg control to move with the body control. So I'm just going to do that real quick. So I left it so that I can show you guys. I can show you guys my mistake. So I'm going to move them to our body group. I'm going to move it to our body group this way, and we are going to have it at the back. So now I can move my body group with the top, which is something like this. This is cool. So we were able to achieve that with bones because we bind bones to the top, the top leg. So and I put the top leg inside the body group. So that's why I was able to move only the top leg with the body. And I'm going to change this direction. I'm going to change our direction to, I'm going to bring it to the bottom. So I'm just going to press my Y key and drag it to the bottom. So yeah, I think that's it. So that's it. So I have a little uh, example that I want to show you guys what easing really means. So I'm going to play this real quick, and so if I play this, you guys can see. Sorry, guys. So if I play this, you guys can, if anybody can tell me if these balls, if they arrive at the same time, can anybody can anybody tell me if it sees these balls arriving at the same time or at a different time? If your answer is it arrives at the same time, you are correct. But reason why it looks like they're not arriving at the same time is the easing. Like some are slow and fast at the end, some are fast at first and slow at the end. And that is easing. And I that's basic of easing. And I want to show you guys each basic easing because they works this differently. So if I play this, you guys can see it move in a constant. Let me play it again. It moves in a constant movement. It moves in a constant movement, a linear movement. There's nothing interrupting it from beginning to the end. If I come here, if I press my dot key, which is arrow, our greater than, or is it greater than or less than? Less than arrow. So you guys can see that these stuffs, as I'm moving my greater than arrow, it's it's moving in same key frames. There are some animations that move this way in real life. There are some stuffs that move like this in real life, which are robots. They don't have anything that interrupts them. They move in a linear movement, or camera movement as well, move in a linear movement. And things like nature doesn't work that way. You can only see robots moves that way. And if I show you guys our this interpolation here, you guys can see it is in a straight line. So that means it's in a linear uh, interpolation. So it is called this stuff is called interpolation. This is where you messed up your easing exactly. So I'm going to show you guys the second one. Let me show you guys the second one real quick. So if I play it now, you guys can see the difference. This, if I click on it, you guys can see the difference. You guys can even see the dots here. That it's the dots are closer at the beginning and also closer at the end. But at the middle, they are farther from each other. Like there's space between these dots, which represent frames. So if I play it again, you guys will see it's it's kind of slow at the beginning, fast at the middle, and slow at the end. So this is called easing and out. This is called easing and out basic animations, and this is the basic interpolation. I think it's called basic is in and out. So this is the basic is in and out, and it's called cubic interpolation in Rive. You can see it here, cubic interpolation. And that's not all. There are some basics interpolations that you can, or is in that you can use in a different scenario of your animation. So let's check this as well. Let's check this third one. So you guys will see how this one moves. You guys can see this one moves very fast at the beginning and slow at the end. So this kind of easing can be used in like a like an explosive scenario, maybe fire explosion, or you just want something to pass through your, like maybe a how am I going to put it, like a star passing through your screen or something like that. So something that happens so fast, so you can use this kind of interpolation in, and this kind of easing, sorry, in your, in that kind of um animation. Yeah. So what this basically means is, if I drag our bottom line, if I drag it to horizontal line, this means that the easing is going to be slow at the beginning, which is, so this means our beginning of our animation, or the beginning of our keyframe. Why this stands, this other one, which at the top back, it stands for the this one. It stands for this one. So I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but I'm going to take it back. So if I drag it up, that means I'm taking out the is in the beginning. So that means I'm taking out the is in. So there won't be any sluggishness in the beginning. That's why I took it up. And if you check the last one, it happens the same, but in in a reverse direction. So you guys can see here, I took out the last one. As I said earlier, this last one, it's going to affect our last key, which is this one. So if I play it now, you guys can see it slows down in the beginning, because I have I have our first key here in our horizontal. But if I put it in vertical, it's going to take out the easing at the first yeah. I think you guys understand what I've tried to say. So you guys can see this. If you guys can see this, we can use this kind of easing in an organic character, or in an organic animations, like bouncing ball, because this feels like a gravity, actually. Like it slows down. If it's a ball, it's going to slow down at the top, and gravity is going to pull it down fastly. I think that's the way this happens. So something like that, it's something that we can use for that kind of animations. So I I I plan to show you guys different kind of easing that you can use in your animation. So these are basic easing that you can use in your animations, actually. So and we are going to implement it to our our mascot right here. So let's jump into it real quick. So I'm going to name this timeline bed animation. I'm going to name it bed animation, and I'm going to come here, and you guys can see we have play, we have different kind of how we want it to play. Like we have one shot, we have loop. Loop is you keep on playing. One shot is it's going to play once, and ping pong is going to play back and forth. And we have work area. Work area is a cool feature too. So if you use work area on your timeline, it's going to limit it's going to give you that limitation in your keyframes where you can easily manipulate or test something out. Or for looping, actually it works very well for looping, but we are going to check it out later on in this series. So, and we have other cool stuff here. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to increase our duration time to 2 minutes actually, and we have 60 seconds per second of frame per second, 60 frame per second. And yeah, let's animate. So I'm going to come to like 20 frame, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my group, my body group, and key in the Y position, and I'm going to come maybe right here at 40 frame. I'm going to take it up, something like this. And I'm going to give it like 20 keyframe, like interval. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to press Control C to copy this first keyframe and Control V. And I'm going to have my stuff. I'm going to have it at where I want to paste it actually. So my deal, if you want to copy and paste your keyframe. So I'm going to paste it here. So if you are confused, like what is this diamonds about? So these diamonds are what are the stuffs that you are going to key. Maybe you want to manipulate the scales, the position. So these diamonds are what represent your keyframes here. So yeah, let's move on. So if I play this, it's going to we are going to have something like this. I'm just going to make this loop. So we should have something like this. We have something like this. So this is linear. So we can make it better by activating our easing. So I'm just going to activate our Copic interpolation, and you guys will see the difference now. You guys can see that it's kind of sleek than just moving in linear. And we can still make it better because what we want to achieve is we want this guy to jump. So, and on the norms, if someone jumps, if you jump, when you jump, you are still going to spend like a second before you come down, before you jump down. And that is like gravity physics actually. That is how physics works actually, Abby. Real physics work. So that's what we want to achieve, and by achieving that, I'm going to select our first keyframe, and I'm going to take out the first this down key. I'm going to take out the ease out, the easing. So I'm going to take it to vertical line. So this way, it's going to take out the easing, and I'm going to. So if this is looking somehow like if the explanation is not clear to you, let me just show you guys, because if you are coming from, or if graphics, it's more simpler to you. You can just select our position and select this graph editor. So here you can see, sorry guys. So now you can, let me select it. So now you can see what I'm talking about. So what I was trying to explain the other time is, if I drag this, you guys can see that it affects our first it affects this place. It affects our first keyframe, this line right here. And if I drag it, you guys can see. So same as if I drag here, you guys can see that it affects this thing is not allow you guys to see the other keyframe that is there. But that's cool. You guys can see if I drag this, it affects the other keyframe. It affects the other keyframe, and that's what we want. So if I select the other keyframe, let me go back so I can. If I select this other keyframe and go back to our graphic and take out it is out, you guys can see that it affects this one right here because this one is for this one, is for this keyframe that I put here, and this last one is still for this one. So if I drag this, now we have like U shape, which is this is going to go like fast and hold it a little bit here before it releases it. And that's what we want to achieve actually. So if I take that out and play, you guys can see, you guys can see that we've activated our um, easing to our mascot. So now it can hold itself when it's at is up and release itself when gravity release it to come down. So that's what we want. So moving forward, we are going to explore what we call timing and spacing. So timing and spacing is how am I going to put it? Um, Timing in animation actually it's how long it takes to take an action, like how long an action takes, and which means this our animations right there now. It's this bed is very light, so for it to jump, it doesn't supposed to take time, right? That's why we have something like this, like it can jump so fast because it's light. But let's say we are animating something like elephant. Elephant has a weight, so the time duration that elephant is going to use to jump, the time that I'm going to give that we are going to give, if we are going to be realistic, it's going to be slower because elephant has weight. It's heavy, so it has to be slow because an elephant is slow. So it our time has to be slow for us to get exactly that kind of movement. Yeah. So timing and spacing means the distance that you give your frame. Like I can say time and spacing. It's timing and spacing. It's practically easy because we've done timing and spacing here. We wanted to achieve. We wanted our mascot to jump so fast and hold itself a little bit before coming down. That is timing and spacing. So I gave it a time that jump so fast and time, take your time a little bit before coming down. So the spacing here is at this middle keyframe. So there is a lot of spacing at this middle keyframe for it to take its time before it drops down. So that is actually how I can explain what uh, timing and spacing means. So I hope you guys understand my little explanation. So moving forward, we are going to explore anticipation. Anticipation is preparing the viewers, like you giving the viewers uh, a movement before the main action. Let's think of it like maybe you and your guys are fighting. If you want to throw a punch, you are going to draw your hand to before you throw a punch actually. So that is anticipation, like you are trying to show that you want to do something and you are showing that you are doing it and you've done it. So that is anticipation. Right here now we don't have anticipation, it just jump. Nobody knows how did you do it, how did you jump. So let's add anticipation to our mascot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to key in the Y key. I'm still going to use the Y position. I'm going to key the Y position here and I'm going to select it. I'm going to add uh, our easing so everything plumped together. And I'm going to come to here. I'm going to come to the second keyframe. This second keyframe here, I'm going to drag it down so to show that anticipation that it wants to jump. Because nobody that wants to jump, you have to bend down before you jump, right? So that's what we are trying to do here. So let's see what we have. So go down and jump. So that is we are giving it we are it's anticipating to jump. Like now we know that this guy is planning to jump by bending down and jump. So that is anticipation, and we can still make this anticipation more even more interesting. So let's see when it jumps, because this is, let me say, anticipation. Don't jump. Now it's coming down. It's not supposed to just come down to exact without any how am I going to call it, a follow through or overshoot. So I'm going to copy this our 20 frames, this keyframe at 20 frames. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to copy it and paste it to this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our last keyframe to maybe 20 frame here, and I'm just going to copy this last keyframe, copy and paste it to here. So we should have something like this. So you guys can see it. We gave it a follow through and it comes back to its normal position. So we are going to check that follow through actually. So we we can still make this better. We So if you guys can see, I think it's getting better. Animation is getting better with adding these principles. So what I can do is I I can still add an overshoot. So I would like it to land very quickly. I think we can make it land so quickly. So something like this. Or we can we can overshoot it. Let me drag this a bit up, like something like this, and add and put the last keyframe to frame 40, something like this. Yeah, something like, I think. So what I'm trying to do is what I'm trying to do here is just like a bouncy ball actually, because if you bounce a ball, it's not going to stop immediately, right? It's still going to have some little bounce before it stops. Just like just like a car as well. If you start a car, it's not going to stop immediately. It's still going to take its time. Like, yeah, you have to decelerate it before you can stop it. You can't stop a car on emotion. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. I don't want it to just jump and just stop. I want it to bounce. Like, I want it to show that exaggeration and follow through and overshoot. So, and that is what we achieve here. But we can still make it better, because I think here we can we change the interpolation to elastic. So elastic is cool. It's very interesting to use, but when you use it too much, you are not going to enjoy it. So I'm just going to increase this side, and I'm going to decrease this side. So I'm going to decrease this just a bit till you have this kind of. So you have just a cool cuff. So let's see what we have now. Yeah. So now it has multiple bounce here. It has like maybe 3 or 4 bounce or even 2. I don't know. But it adds to its bounce. That elastic adds to its bounce and it's looking cool. It's looking cool. I can say it's looking cool. So let's move on. So that is us adding anticipation. You guys can see we already know that it wants to jump. We already sees that it wants to jump and it jumps and it bounce. It landed bouncely and stops exactly. So I think this is looking. If you guys can reason with me, this is looking cool already. So let's move on. So I think we've checked anticipation, we've checked easing, we've checked spacing, and we've checked anticipation. So let's add follow through and overshoot. So follow shoot and overshoot is motion doesn't like I've said earlier, motion doesn't stop, like it doesn't just stop. You have to add the like even if it's something that fell, it's only robots that I know that if it landed, it might even robots might still have an exaggeration, like it might still have a follow through or overshoot, something like that. So it overshoot passes targets than set. Like what I'm trying to explain here is that follow through is when you make something happens, when you wanted to do something and you did it. So what now happened after you did it? What are the things that happens after you did what you did? So that is follow through, and we've already added that to our to our animation already, which is the bouncing here. After it jumped, you don't jump for here now. So now you don't jump finish, you land. So wetin can happen? You bounce before you rest. So this is our follow through. Let me try and so we anticipate, it jumps and it follows through, and this follow through, and we overshoot it, which it bounced before it settled. So that is basically it. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So moving on. So we have secondary motion. So secondary motion is like a supporting movement that follow the main action. So let's think of when like if you want to jump, your hand and your leg is going to be your secondary motion because it's going to follow through with your body. So our secondary motion here is going to be his eyes and his hand. So let's animate that. So his secondary motion is going to be when he wants to jump, he's going to blink and he's going to open his eyes when he jumps. And I think that will add more realistic. It's not going to make our mascot look boring or static, even when it's jumping. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to I'm going to open the high group, and we are going to animate the first eyebrow, the the top eyebrows. So I'm going to select the both left and right eyebrow. Let's select that. So these two. So I'm going to key in the Y position. So I'm just going to move like maybe um, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like 4 frame, and I'm going to drag this up, which is the anticipation. So this is our anticipation for the eye. I'm going to drag it up and maybe move like 2 or 3 keyframe and close his eye. I'm going to close his eye like this. I think, yeah, this is something like this. And I'm going to hold it. So I'm just going to copy these 2 keyframe. I'm going to copy it and paste it here. So I can hold it till it jumps. So it closes his eye. So it's just like anticipate of closing his eyes. He closes his eye, close his eye, close his eye. And when he jumps, maybe something like somewhere here, we're going to copy this one, copy and paste it here, right? And yeah, I'm going to copy this, copy and paste here. And let me add easing. So we should have something like this. Oh, sorry guys. So here is the last keyframe that I'm supposed to have here. So I'm just going to copy this, copy and paste. Yeah. So we should have something like this. Yeah. But I think this. So I want it to go back to its normal position. His eyebrow. I want it to go back to its normal position, but in a slower movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this. So as we've explained, spacing makes, if like, now that I have these two like closer together, you guys can see that it happens so fast. But when keyframes are far from each other, it it happens so slow, and that's what I want to. That's that's the beauty of using the principles. So something like this. So we're going to do same thing to the bottom eyebrow. So I'm going to select the two, come in and key in the Y position. Actually, I'm going to take this these guys up because there's nothing. I'm going to bring it here because we are not they are not out. We are not going to animate that. So I'm going to come here and drag this up. Sorry guys. So I'm going to drag them up like this, something like this, and hold it. So I'm going to copy these keyframes, copy and paste, and I'm going to take it back. It's going to go back to its normal position. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So I'm just going to select everything. Just going to select everything and add easing. Yeah. So we should have something like this. Yeah. So this is a secondary motion that add to our that exaggerate our movement, our mascot jumping. So this way it shows that this guy wants to perform something actually, and anticipating it going down, anticipating it closing his eyes, it it express it express the movement that he wants to take. Okay, so moving on, let's add the secondary let's add secondary animation, which is the hand. So I'm going to come to the I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. Where's the fuck? Sorry, where's the hand? Um, okay, so I'm going to select the hand. I'm going to key in the same. I'm going to key in the. I'm going to select the hand group and key in the Y position and come to when it's about to jump. So right here, when it's about to jump, I'm going to drag it a little down, something like this, something like this, and when it jumps somewhere here, so I'm going to take it up somewhere here, and when it lands, I'm going to copy this keyframe. This when it wants to pick up and paste it here and return it to its normal position, which is the first keyframe here, and paste. So I'm going to add this in to our keyframes like this. So you should have something like this. Yeah. So you can still make it better. So now let's let me open the and select the the actual shapes of our hand, and I'm going to key in the rotation. I'm going to key in both rotation. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to so right here I'm going to rotate it a little bit like this and select the other hand. uh, and select this and do the same. I'm going to rotate it as well, something like this. And when it jumps, I'm going to rotate it up, like something like this. Do the same for the other hand. I'm going to rotate it like something like this. And when it lands, I'm going to copy these keyframes, copy this and paste because it's same. Yeah, it's same. So that's how I'm trying to and return it to its normal position and copy these first keyframes. So paste there. So we should have. Let me add easy into our keyframes. So we should have something like this. Yeah. So I think it's our mascot is coming to life little bit, little by little, actually. So we can go with this. If you guys can agree with me, we can go with this. So let's move to the next principle that we're going to apply to our mascot. So we have axe. So axe is like adding a mimicking a nature, like what like a nature movement actually. So because there is nothing like a straight a linear movement. People don't even work as a humans. We know we don't work in a straight line. Like we don't work straight. We move back and forth. That's where we move. And in animation, this actually works because it makes our animations more looking more organic and smooth. And you can easily relate it to something you've seen before or nature actually. So here we are going to what's the kind of nature we can add to this. So the arc that we are going to add to this is we are going to make it um, exaggerate is jumping actually. So we are going to mess with the body actually. We are going to mess with the body group. So you guys will see. So um, I'm going to animate the rotation. So I'm going to key in the rotation of the body, which is here. So quick note actually. So any any properties that belongs to these bodies that I animate or I keyed is going to be under the property. So you I can't see it now because it's showing me all the keyframes in that I have in this body. Only if I opened it, then I can see other keyframes under this body. So you guys can just take note of that. So I'm just going to come right here when he wants to jump, when he was anticipating, and I'm just going to um, bend the guy movement. I'm going to bend the guy like maybe minus 20 actually, like minus 20. And when he jumps, I'm going to take it to 20. Yeah, it's going to be like this. And when it drops, I'm going to take it back uh, to minus 20. So to complement his jump, because if he should jump, if he should land this way, he's going to fall. That means it may be he doesn't landed well. So to complement his landing, it has to move back to the way it started, the way it jumps. So that is why I returned it here, and I'm going to come here. I'm just going to maybe give it a little bit of rotation for overshoot or follow through. So this is his follow through, and I'm going to settle it to 0 degree, and I'm going to add what's it called? Cubic interpolation, our easing. Yeah. So you should have something like this. So you guys can see that the movement is a little bit different, and it gives it more dynamic movement. Like it looks more sleek right now. You guys can relate that okay, this thing is actually wanted to jump, and it's trying to lift his body from left to right and drop down and balance. So I'm going to show you guys one cool feature, and which is I want to copy this interpolation. I want to copy it to I want it to mimic. I want it to have. I want these two keyframes to have same interpolation. So what I can do is I'm going to come to my interpolation interface here, and you guys can see. So if you hold down your Control Alt C or Command Option C, it's going to copy this. It's going to copy your interpolation, and if you click on the interpolation that you want to, like the keyframes that you want to put that interpolation, you're going to come here again and press um, Control Alt V or Command Option V. So it's going to paste it here. So we are going to have same interpolation here. So let's see if it's going to work. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, but I think we can still make. I think we can. I I would like to offset it and see what it's going to give us. Like what is going to be. So I'm just going to offset this two keyframe. I'm just drag it a little bit further. So let's see what it's going to give us. Something like you guys can it It's subtle. I can say the subtle. It we can feel it rather than saying it. Actually, you can actually feel it that okay, this thing is actually bouncing before it's settled. Like it's finding its balance before it's settled. Yeah, and that's I think this is cool. We can go with that. So moving forward, I think that's cool. And I want to show you guys something too. Like if there is much keyframes that is happening on your timeline, you can actually select like me selecting this. I can come here and just activate show only selected keyframes. So you guys can see I can only I can only work on these keyframes right now. Like I can only work on this body um, group, anything that I want to do, and it's going to hide other ones. So say I should just make I show you guys that one. So moving forward, we've added arc. So now let's make our um, mascot jump. Let's animate the leg, but before that, um, um, I like us to select the bed, yeah. So we are going to select the bed group. It's the bed group that we are going to um, move. So I'm going to key in the X position right here at the first keyframe, or rather, I can just there's nothing happening from there. So I can just from here that it wants to jump the bed keyframe. I'm going to key in the bed keyframe here that is anticipating to jump and move to when it drops and just move the guy to maybe somewhere here, maybe somewhere here. So this one is just going to be a linear move. It's just going to be a linear movement. You don't need to add easing. So you're going to have something like this. So let's move his leg. Let's move his leg. Let's have his leg moved. So I'm going to come here, select the group, the foot control, which is the left foot control. So I'm going to key in the Y key at the first keyframe, or better still, move the. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to move it here. So I'm going to move it here. I want you guys to see what we are doing. So you can see it from here. Oh, is there? I should be able to hide this thing. Okay, better. Yeah, I think that's better. So, um, so I key in the X position of our foot. Let me go back to our left foot. So let's say when it jumps, or before it jumps, actually. Let's see when it jumps. When it jumps, we take his leg up, something like this, and I want to animate the rotation as well. So I'm going to key in the rotation. I'm going to come back to here and key in the rotation. So I'm going to come back here and tamper with the rotation. Maybe something like this. Something like this. And when it lands, I'm going to copy this keyframe and paste it and paste it back here. And I'm going to add easing. So we should have something like this. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, something like this. So I'm going to do the same for the other leg. I'm going to select the right leg control and tampered with um, the Y position and the rotation. Some just same thing. And when it's up, I'm going to drag this up. Actually, let me check. I would. This is 69. Let me try and use 69 to here. Minus 69. Let's see. Oh, no, no, no. So minus 50. Let me just take it back to minus 50, or you just have something like that. And I'm going to tamper with this, something like this. And when it lands, I'm going to return this first keyframe. I'm going to copy it and paste. So we should have something like this, something like this. So I'm going to add tabulation, copying interpolation to everything. I'm going to have something like this. So the both leg are jumping at the same time, but we should actually exaggerate it. Yeah, let's exaggerate it. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offset the right leg. I'm just going to take it further because I want, let me see. So maybe in 3 frames, this is still holding up while this has already taken off. Or you can just make it maybe 4 frame, like something like this. Yeah. So we should have something like this. Yeah, I think this settled well. This settled well. Yeah. We can go with this. Yeah. I think we can go with this. So that's done. That's done. And let's move on. So we've added arc and we've added other things. So exaggeration. So exaggeration is push poses beyond reality for clarity. So what this means is that um, in in reality, actually, or your animations has to mimic something realistic. Yeah, and example is what can I use as an example? But let's just, let's find something we can exaggerate. So I think we've exaggerated a lot of things here. Actually, we've we've not exaggerated much actually. So I think we can exaggerate is eyeball. Yeah, because most of his focus, most of the focus on this mascot is his eyes. If you guys can agree with me, his eyes is the most focused there. So let's just exaggerate his eyeball. I think we can exaggerate his eyeball. So when he close his eye here, I think we can exaggerate it. Or right here before he opens the eye. Yeah. So I'm just going to go to the face keyframe. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? So I'm going to exaggerate the eyeball, which I call the eye. I mean the eye pupil. So rather the eye pupil. So I'm going to key in I'm going to key in the Y, um, the Y scale. I'm going to kill the Y scale and right here, maybe somewhere here, somewhere in the. I'm just going to give you like frame forward and exaggerate the high, maybe to 300. Let me just give it 300. And you guys can see when it jumps, when it jumps, I'm going to take it back to 100. I'm going to take it back to 100. Let me just put easy. So I can have something like you guys can see it's like the eye is how am I going to put it? The eye is like an elastic that draws immediately when it jumps. I think it added more exaggeration to his eye. If you guys can agree with me, it added more exaggeration to his eye. And when it lands or before it lands, I think we can still do something like that too. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. And oh, sorry, this one rather. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Paste it here. And here, I'm going to copy this. Copy and paste. So we should have something like this. Yeah, something like. If you guys can agree with me, it looks fun, and that's the I think that's the main purpose of exaggeration. It makes you wonder why what's that happening? Do you get? You can't just tell, but you know that something is happening in that high. So that's exaggeration actually, and yeah, it happens in waving too, like and waving, because you have to exaggerate that the hand is moving like a bunch of times, but you can't see it. So it happens, it exaggerates in hand waving as well. So you guys can put that in mind. Yeah, something like that. I think we can settle with that. So, but I like to take out the easing and this one take out the ease out. So we can have something like this. Yeah. So I think this is better. So we can just do the same thing with the other eye. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to copy this keyframe. I'm going to copy this keyframe, copy, and choose our right eye pupil. Come to come here, and I'm just going to key in this guy. I'm going to key in the first key and paste and control V. And you guys will see that it actually copy and paste actually works. But you have to key in the uh, the property before you paste. So you have something like this. Exactly. This settled well. You guys can see this settled well. Okay. So what other things can we exaggerate? What other things can we exaggerate? Okay. I think we can settle with that. I think we can settle with that. So moving on, we have which is the last but not the least actually. So the we have solid drawing. So solid drawing is even when we are in 2D two. We are using a 2D two. We have to think in 3D space. So to give more clarity and more balanced position so that when people look closely to your characters or your animations, they can easily understand what actions your character is trying to take. I don't know if that makes sense. Just like our mascot is we are trying to make it jump, right? We are trying to make it jump, but we don't want that jumping to look more awkward. And there is a lot of things we can still adjust to make it look 3D. It's not 3D, but you can still think it in a 3D space. So let's let's say the magic that we can do to that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this feet. I'm going to take it down when it wants to jump, when it was anticipating, when it's anticipating. Sorry. So I'm going to choose the first group, which is this one. I'm going to key in the Y keyframe, the Y position. I'm going to key in the Y position, and when it's right here, I'm going to drag it down. Uh, I'm going to drag it down. I can just do it basically here. I'm going to drag it down somewhere here. I think somewhere there is fine. And when it jumps here, I'm just going to take it up. I'm going to bring it up somewhere like this, somewhere here. And when it lands, I'm going to copy this. This is our first key. This is our 20 keyframe, not our first key. I'm going to paste it here and settle it to its normal position, which is the first key, which is this. And settle it here. And I'm going to add easing. Yeah, I'm going to add easing. I'm going to have something like this. You guys can already see it. It looks like the bed is moving from bending down to opening its head to jump. So we can actually see it in a 3D movement in this way, actually. So and we can still tamper, we can still work with other stuffs. I think we can still work on. I'm going to key the scale, the Y key scale right here, actually. And when it's here, I'm just going to reduce it maybe to 90 or 85. Just to It's going to look like it's actually closing, like it's actually limiting how am I going to put it, horizontal line of his eye. I don't know how I'm going to explain that, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to return it back to 100 when it jumps. And right here, I'm going to copy this keyframe. Oh, sorry. And then let me just open it because we have a lot of keyframes there. So I'm just going to copy this keyframe, this exact one, this one. Let's copy this and paste it here and settle it back to 100, which is the first keyframe. Yeah. I'm going to add cupid interpolation, shower easing. So we're going to have something like this. Actually, it doesn't show, but we can feel it. We can feel it. So and that's the main purpose of it. Actually, we can feel it. So yeah, you can go with that. So and another thing that we can do is this is crown. We can mess up with this is crown. Not mess up, but we can make magic with it. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to key in the Y position, and I'm going to come here, right here. I'm just going to drag it down. I'm going to bring it down like somewhere around there, somewhere around there. Yeah, somewhere there. And when it jumps, this is going to look actually little bit tricky because I want it when it jumps. I want it to before it maybe somewhere around here, somewhere around here, maybe 30 frame. I'm going to return it back to its position, and when it jumps, yeah, I want it to. That's why I added draw rules in our first class, so that I can have this crown at the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this down. I'm going to drag this down. We are going to use draw rules to take this out of his face, actually, to take the crown out of his face. So I'm going to, and before it lands, I'm going to bring this back up, right? I need to bring it back up. And when it lands, it's going to make sense now, guys. Just bear with me, please. So I'm going to copy this keyframe and paste it here, and set it to this right position, to its normal position. Yeah, something like this. So we are going to have something like this. But now let me open it. Let me open this crown so you guys can see. So if I come here, or rather, when I come here, I'm going to activate our draw rules. So I'm going to activate our draw rules right here. Before you get there, maybe somewhere like a frame, just maybe like 2 frames or a frame. I'm going to activate our draw rules. So right now it's at the back. It's at the back now, and when it's coming back up, I'm going to return it back to its normal position. So I'm not sure. Okay, I've not added this into this. Let me do that. So we should have something like this. You guys can see it looks like it's actually a round shape, like a 3D round head. That when he moves his head down, the crown disappears. Like the crown is also at the back of his head. So I think this we can go with this. Actually, we can keep on tweaking it till we get exactly what we wanted. But I think we can settle with this if you guys can agree with me. I think this is better. So yeah, but before we are done, we've not animated his shadow. Sorry, let's do that. So I'm going to select the shadow. I'm going to animate it. Y, is it Y or X? Yeah, it's X movement. It's X position. So from here, um, okay. So I'm going to put it here because this is where he wants to. From here, it wants to jump, and here, when it lands, I'm just going to drag this probably to somewhere here. Yeah, I think that's, so we should have something like this. Yeah, so we should have something like this. Okay. Now I just remembered something. It's like we've not added squash and stretch. I'm not sure we've added squash and stretch. That is very important. Oh my God. How do I forget that? Jesus Christ. So I'm going to, I can still make this looks nice. So I'm just going to work with blend, the blend property and and the scale. Yeah, I think I can work with the scale as well. What am I doing? Sorry guys, I need to get rid of one. Okay, so I'm going to work on the scale and also the blend property. So when it jumps right here, I think I can fade it. Maybe fade it to something like 70%, 70%. And when it lands, take it back to 100. Something like this. So it's not that obvious. So let's just let me try and maybe reduce it to like 60% actually. 60%, and right here I'm just going to reduce the opacity maybe to like 70, 70. So when it lands, I'm going to return it back to 100. Let's return it back to 100. And we should have something like this. Yeah, something like this. So yeah, I'm going to add copy interpolation to everything. So this first key, I would like to mimic our first. I'm going to take out the easy. The second key, I'm going to take out the ease out. So it can follow our the jump, something like this. Yeah, something like. But I think this stuff is moving faster than our actual stuff. So what I can do is um, just reduce this a little bit and let's see if that will solve our problem. I think it solved it. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. So sorry guys, we've not talked about squash and stretch. Voila. How do I so squash and stretch? Sorry guys, we're supposed to talk about squash and stretch. Squash and stretch is it adds how am I going to put this? Um it adds more life to our animations actually. It adds more life to our animation. Let's think of like bouncing ball actually. If squash and stretch makes our animations mimic a live, how am I going to put it, like real life physics actually, something like that sha. It makes our animation look more dynamic and expressive. Let me just make English no comot my teeth. So what we can do is actually is to add squash and stretch is we are going to select the um, the bed group, the whole bed group, which is this, and we are going to tampered with the scale. We are going to animate the scale. So I'm going to key in the scale. I'm going to key in the scale right here and come right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag our our first keyframe. Maybe I'm going to give it our Y key, X, sorry, the X scale position. Maybe I'm going to give it 110, something like that, and reduce this to 90, something like this. And let me open this so we can see what we are doing. So I'm going to come to when it's before it jumps actually here when it's already trying to jump. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to change the X position to 90. I'm going to change the Y to 110. So it's going to give us something like this. And when it jumps, when it's up there, I'm going to change it back to 100. And before it drops, maybe like somewhere here, I'm going to copy this particular keyframe. I think it's this one, right? Let's copy this, paste there. Then when it drops, I'm going to copy this and paste there and settle. Sorry guys, sorry. What's going on? So I'm going to settle everything to its normal position. Copy, paste. I'm going to add easing. I'm going to add easing to so we have something like this. I think it looks more dynamic. Like I'm still thinking of that English to use for this particular this particular squash and stretch, because squash and stretch is actually cool, and you can use it in all your animations, mostly all your animations, and it's going to make your animation look more realistic. Like right now, you can see it looks like this bed has a life. Like it looks it looks dynamic. Actually, I how am I going to put it? It looks like balloon that has water in it, something like that. And that's the kind of it gives it more weight. Yeah, it gives it more weight. Like it makes it look like this thing actually has a weight. Yes, it makes it look like it has a weight. So squash and stretch is very cool. I think I'm supposed to talk about it at first. So yeah, I want to congratulate everybody. I know this looks intense. It's not easy. I know it's not easy, but we get it done. It works, and that's the beautiful of it. So yeah, we have our first animation in Rive. So our mascot is bouncing and is happy, as you guys can tell. If you guys agree with me, our mascot is happy. And that's it for this session. Yeah, that's it for this session. I hope you guys enjoyed the little animations that we just accomplished. I know it's intense. But the more we do it, the more we get it. The more you get interest to try more things, and that's the beauty of animation, actually. So yeah, thank you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Wow, that was a beautiful journey. I'm giving a round of applause.
Thank you.
You need it. You feel
So
it.
yeah, thank you, thank you.